make Carlton, in my view, look a bit vulnerable down back. Watson, a young defender coming through, is going to have to play a pretty significant role.
Saw Lockie Hansen there, concussed in the opening 2 minutes last week. So Friday night football about to roll. Etihad Stadium, cold night outside, and away we go. Rucks go at it. Cruiser on the way down first tap. Zeeble over the football. Cruiser on top of him. Zeeble's got it now. Tries to feed it out, going nowhere, and the umpire calls for it.
Thanks, Bryce. He's back.
Ball up.
Just an unusual match for Andrew Walker, who actually looks like he's got the Brent Harvey match up this early point.
Lucas, the first kick out towards the outer side. Swallow back. Harvey across the body. Too much carry, then a bad bounce. Carrazzo did well. Little 1-2 with Lucas. Walker, that was slick. Carrazzo confronted by Bastanak. Great smother on the outer side. As a result, it went to Swallow. That was too cute by half. Bets a play on the football. He goes after it. Down he goes. Thomas got him. Zeeble on his knees. Attlee's in trouble. He's held, and the umpire calls for it.
Hey, Sean.
One of the other matchups in the midfield, Curnow and McKenzie have both started on a wing, and Curnow's been one of the constant taggers, if you like, for Mick Malthouse, so not a role tonight.
Swallows through.
Andrew.
Swallow, one of about a handful. I reckon 5 players had injury problems at the end of last week, and he's come up. He hasn't missed a game for a long stretch, 105 consecutive. The North Melbourne all-time records, Keith Craig 119, so he's within half a season of that. Ferrito tonight, the one that's come out, he'd played 150, the last 152, so it's a big move to have him out. So Bastanak.
Carlton playing very man-to-man, which is just making Kangaroos no obvious free targets, makes them kick long down the line.
So it's McKenzie earlier to Bastanak. He's a good kick, McKenzie. It was a short one, but Tui. Swallow. Dare I say, it was almost the old chicken wing, but Juddy was sort of close, but Adams was nowhere to be seen. So Betts releases Murphy.
Murphy down towards half forward. Not a good kick. Rose in front. Was he held without the football? Won it anyway on his knees. Hand passes inside the 50. Here's trouble. Betts deep in the pocket. Pulls it back. Henderson in best position. Takes the mark. A couple of metres out. Clever kick.
Good judgment by Henderson. He knew the ball was just going to come over Grimer's head. He just leant into Grimer. I don't think he got hands. No, just leant into him to make sure Grimer couldn't come back into that space.
So, the man that Richo was talking about before the game draws first blood. Carlton lead.
You know, I would have thought if he hasn't already, Scott Thompson should be taking the Henderson matchup.
Yeah.
Scott Thompson started on young row. I mean, there's no doubt while he's in there, Henderson's their most dangerous forward. So we'll just see if that matchup remains after just that first few minutes.
Even size-wise, Lee, you look at it, you think Rowe's a larger man than Henderson, and Tarrant it was for North Melbourne. He could do the job on Rowe.
Well, Richo, you were working Saturday night footy, kicked 2 in the first quarter last week. I mean, perfect start for them.
Yeah, it's great. And when you can take contested marks like he can, 4 of them last week, you've just got to play him up forward. I'd leave him there for the rest of the year and let him develop. All of a sudden, you can build the forward line around him.
Goldstein to Bastanak, Simpson and Harvey, both eyes on the ball. Cruiser just couldn't quite get it out. Adams toe poked the ball forward. McLean against the flow, and shook hands by Cunnington to Harvey, rolls it home. Harvey, 356 games tonight, so he gets alongside Paul Roos and Bruce Dool. They're good names, aren't they? Equal number 10 on the all-time list.
And what they've done here, and they've done it well all year, to be honest, is they've got the clearance, the centre clearance, which is so important, and their ability to surge it forward. They do play, when they play really well, North Melbourne, they tend to get the ball surging forward and play with speed. And I mean, Brent Harvey's been good.
He just hunted it, didn't he? He just kept with the ball, and eventually the ball got into the football got into his hands. You know that matchup, I know Andrew Walker's now on Daniel Wells. I don't think he was set for the Harvey matchup. Looks like Curnow maybe has now got that assignment.
Well done by the veteran too. He produced the spill with that slap. And then the beneficiary. Rucks go at it. Goldstein on the way down. Then it to Cunnington. Swings inside the forward 50. McGuinness got a fist on it. Sends it wide. Simpson leads in the race. Right on the numbers. Peels back. Looks up towards the wing now. Cruises in front from behind Goldstein. It'll be a great duel. Cunnington Adams loops it over the top. McKenzie, very nice with the left boot. Kicks to space. Oh, that's beautiful. This kid can really kick.
If you want a textbook way to control your space as the key forward, just have a look at Drew Petrie. They held it off perfectly.
Petrie short to Black. He's been busy in recent weeks too. Man on the mark is about 25 metres out. Black, 6 goals in the past fortnight, 2 hauls of 3. Playing his first game against Carlton. He's a strong kick and normally pretty reliable. But his first kick of the night misses to the near side. Never had that one on line.
It's got the same number as the horse had, Dennis, for the Kangaroos, eh? Johnny Longmire.
Oh, that's good company.
No, he's been terrific, hasn't he, Black? So Murphy getting it. And then just took his time and then kicked the ball to advantage. That's a great mark, Lucas. Really well done. Then Curnow on the burst. So Henderson and Grimer in a one-out. Grimer fists the ball away. Got past Armfield. Hanson, McMahon back in the team tonight after injury. Probing kick to half forward. Got over the top there. Black again, left foot round the body, searching for Watson and also Walker. Well, they got a bit nervy at the end, didn't they? But they were able to rush it through.
And just on Scott Thompson down the other end of the ground, the reason why he hasn't started on Henderson, you get the feeling he's going to be a player that will rotate. He's now on to Eddie Betts, showing his versatility. Starting on Rowe, moving to Betts.
They say in the guide that Black is 192 centimetres. He looks taller. That's only 6'2", according to my reckoning. Don't guarantee that, of course. Down goes Jamison in trouble. Scotland followed suit over the top, Zeeble. And the umpire will ball it up. It's a good tackle, and the second one even better. Flicked down by Goldstein. Curnow stood up, tries to knock it forward. Did too along the boundary. Well played. McLean kicks it to the interchange gates. It goes out of bounds. So that worked by Curnow. Gives Carlton an extra 40 metres. Boundary throw in right in front of our commentary position.
A lot of respect between these two coaches. They know each other really well, don't they? Michael Malthouse and Brad Scott. So Cruiser trying to lay it for Carazzo. That looked in the back.
He's back. Kangaroos.
He's a beast, Zeeble. He was one guy I got a good look at in the runes because he's a big boy.
Man, he's a big midfielder, big, powerful midfielder as he sort of really grows into himself.
Is he a bit like Voss in terms of
size? Yeah. I don't think he's got the breakaway speed that Bossy had early in his career before he broke his leg, but still strong.
Tarrant. It was Black that got up highest. McLean cut off brilliantly by Bastanak. Back to him from Cunnington. Now, does that ball stay in? It does. It's in the forward pocket, and Cruiser belted the ball away.
Just early days looking over the field, a lot of one-on-one matchups. These two sides are actually the hardest side to get a disposal against, ranked 1 and 2 for opposition disposals, and it's looking like a very accountable game at this stage.
Rookie mistake there by Matthew Watson, just telegraphing that hand pass, and Bastanak didn't need a second invitation. As a result, Carlton defending here. Now off the ball, it's going to be a free kick, and it's going to Thomas. Well, there we go.
Let him put his boot
Thomas.
on. Yep, come on.
Having an out-of-shoe experience just for the moment.
Thank you.
Wow.
Made sure he saw it. Zach Tui over the shoulder.
I reckon 2 years ago, a lot of people would have said, leave it off, Lindsay, leave it off. But not now, eh?
He was like Dwight Howard at the foul line, wasn't he, a couple of years ago? What was it?
Put a movie on
21-36.
Because you want to make sure you get this done right. You've got 40,000 people in the stadium, and it's plenty at home watching you tie your laces here, Lindsay. He's gone for the double knot.
He's doing it a big kick quicker than the English cricketer did the other week.
Yeah, that is true.
Live and interactive tonight. Who's the best small forward out there? Is it Thomas, Betts or Garlett tonight? What do you reckon?
Well, Thomas this year, undoubtedly.
Yeah, umpire says allowed to put his shoe on, so he's back outside the 50. We'll watch the man on the mark closely. Call might be Tui on your boot. Here's Thomas. The way he's going, he'll kick this. Pretty soft free kick. Oh. pangs of conscience. He hooks it. He played it up for the kick. And this ball's gone through for a minor score. So North Melbourne lead it by 3. It's 9-6.
So that's a big miss, really. Simpson. So Carlton out, and then Simpson has been so good. That's a lovely kick to Armfield. Good mark too. I mean, running backwards, and then Armfield quickly on, and wanting Henderson really wide. Grimer wraps in boundary throw-in. Hey, Richo, just for you, live and interactive, are you a Thomas, Garland, or Betts man?
Well, I think over the journey I'll stick with Eddie Betts, but like the other guys said, Thomas has clearly been the best this season.
Rogers fell over, so Goldstein, Cunnington, left foot, gets it almost to the wing. McGuinness, Walker, good one too, and then McGuinness back to the forward pocket. Henderson, such a target. Curnow throwing in the end. No, getting the high tackle first, and then the throw.
He hit the packet speed, didn't he? His hands were fantastic. We'll get a good look at it here.
I don't know about that.
Threw the head back, I reckon.
Well, that's even for this one. The other end with Thomas, isn't it? Both of them playing up the kick.
Yep.
So Ed Curnow with a real chance here. He's 0-2 from set shot, so this will be a bonus. 2 goals this year in 12 matches. Not a noted goal kicker. This will be terrific for the Blues, and he has drilled it home. A real 6-point bonus in the opening term.
Accuracy important, isn't it? They'd had 2 shots at goal. Obviously, Henderson's was from the goal square, but that was the same kind of shot that Thomas missed, Black missed, and all of a sudden they've got the lead, Carlton, when the Kangaroos have really been the dominant team in this first part of the game.
Sort of love it when a bloke gets a goal that you don't expect to, too. You feel like it's one extra, don't you?
And there's one of those small forwards we were talking about, Eddie Betts, and his matchup has been Scotty Thompson early in the game. He's just out of frame, Thompson. There he is. 20 centimetres height difference there. They have played on each other before, though, so it's not a total surprise.
Carlton by 3. Swallow started in industrious fashion. Gave it out to McKenzie. Away to Wells under pressure. Kicks inside the forward 50. Holding the man was it doesn't matter. Petrie. Oh, he's a handful against Carlton as Petrie.
Gee, that's a strong mark. I mean, I thought Jamison almost gave away the free kick, but Petrie was still good enough to be able to force his way to the footy. I mean, it had to be a free. I would have thought if he did mark it, but great contested mark, that one.
His career high 7 against these Blues. Round 12. 2012. There goes the kick on its way, and through it goes. Nice.
That was Cloak-like, wasn't it? I mean, just his strength. That's what we saw last week.
That's a big. Well, he is a big man. I mean, he's become the forward who plays in the ruck. It's interesting. While this has been happening, Carlton have had Cruiser off and Rowe into the ruck. Now Cruiser's back on, but Goldstein has been on the ball the whole time. So if there is a double teaming going on, we'll just to see how Goldstein is going late in the game.
Richo, twice we've seen Drew Petrie just protect the drop zone. Just as a key forward, how much of an art's that?
Oh, it's one of your biggest tools you can have, Tommy, no doubt about it. You've got to be able to read it off the boot early, predict where the ball's landing, and then you just need to hold your direct opponent off, and you're just basically falling into the footy at the last minute. That's the idea of it.
Carazzo getting it for McMahon, courageous. So if you think back, Carlton, both their goals have been replied within about a minute by North Melbourne. So the Blues have had the lead a couple of times, and North have quickly got it back. Free kick. It's been a slow burner, Tarrant, has he? He was a pretty high draft pick. So for a long time. I think he played 9 games in his first 4 seasons there. But his last year and a bit has been pretty promising. And here's the other guy that's sort of the 2 and 3 forwards behind Petrie in terms of height. And then you've got Thomas, of course. I mean, it's a lethal forward line when they're working. So Tarrant, where is Petrie? Oh, he was there. And Thomas reading it brilliantly. And it's all happening. All those guys we're talking about coming to the fore. So it was Tarrant, Black, Petrie, Thomas all involved in the goal.
And of course Tarrant was the one who put it out to Black in the first place, but he got in, he charged into the forward line to be in that contested marking situation, and Watson tried to chase him back, but didn't get there. So effectively, Black was able to really create a really good contest for Thomas to crumb from.
Well, here's the potency of the North Melbourne forward line at its best. The two key targets, I guess, not ideally clashing together, but Lindsay Thomas just hitting the drop zone at speed. That's almost impossible to defend.
Great instinctive goal, that one, on the run. McLean across towards Judd. Goldstein reaches down for the footy. Attlee did well at close quarters. Cunnington goes back. Grimer gave it across towards Wells. They're still under pressure across half back. Eventually Grimer back into the fray. He's taken high by Armfield. Almost a headlock there. Attlee feeds it back to McKenzie, involved earlier. Kicks it down the line. Fisted away by McGuinness. Well done. Ghosting across in front of two players battling for possession. And the ball goes out of bounds. So a boundary throw in. Just the attacking side of the interchange gates for North. They're looking the better at the present time. Goldstein and Cruiser. Cruiser could have been held without it. Cunnington got boot to ball. McLean goes after it. Garlett surrounded, goes with the outside of the boot. Betts right on the wing.
It was a clever kick by Garlett, and Betts was in the right spot. So that's a waste. You disappointed, Walker?
Well, that's the old Nick Malthouse game style, handballing round the back and using the boundary. And if you're going to use the boundary, you've got to be precise, obviously, with your disposal by foot.
So Harvey to Hansen. Concussed last week. We remember last year was a big talking point about just how fit he was, Hansen, in terms of those injuries or the head knocks, but he's back playing tonight. McMillan had a lot of consecutive matches now, this youngster. Really found his spot in this team, and then kicks to half forward, and was that hands in the back against Town? No.
They look tall, those North forwards. Yeah. Sometimes big forwards can just look slow, but at the moment they are looking really tall and really that height in the air is already troubling the Carlton defence.
And nimble.
Move well, don't they?
Yep. Petrie knocks it down. Murphy, great to see him back without the helmet. Murphy's getting a free kick in that pack.
Well, one of the things that's hard to explain when you're watching it on TV is, and Lee, you touched on it before the game, the atmosphere under the roof. The ball is genuinely sticky, and when you've got key forwards who are nimble, like we've discussed, you can clunk the footy.
Murphy, 26 today. So I guess, thinking about the photos that may be taken there, the cake, he can't wear the helmet. Watson slips it across to Jamison. Jamison right half back. That's a telling kick. Slammed it on the boot. It was too hot for Eddie. Taken by Thompson in the grasp. Petrie. Harvey cruising past. Wow, he split the difference. Had one either side of this man. Armfield took the mark. Cunnington stands the mark over the top Cruiser. Murphy looks better too. Kicks inside the forward 50. In front, McMahon. In from the side, Hansen. Last time we saw him play, Bruce, he took 13 marks, remember?
I do. I like that one too. Those intercept marks are so valuable, aren't they? Story about a bloke that can take intercept marks, I reckon, just after quarter time tonight from down Geelong way. Little kick coming up to Adams. Came from Siebel.
He's going to take a lot of them if he's allowed to be loose in that back line, and that's what he is at the moment, Hansen.
And they love having him loose there, don't they, Rich? I mean, that's one of their plays, North, if they can get him on his own. So Walker building it away. Harvey up and about. Oh, Thomas, that was clever. Brilliant. Welcome back. Well, 2 matches out with suspension, 2 goals in the first quarter. Well, if I was BT, Dennis, I would have said he sold a bit of, was it candy, he says, BT?
I'm thankful you're not, Bruce.
Well, it was a very, very good goal. Gee, Lee, he's a clever player, isn't he?
He is a clever player. You mentioned before the game that he owed the Kangaroos for getting suspended for 2 weeks. Well,
he's playing
whether we did or not, if they'd had him last week, just maybe they could have hung on against the Lions. So they're the kind of issues that you never get your best set on the field week in, week out, but he was a costly loss.
What's been impressive about Lindsay Thomas so far is he's had 2 weeks out of the game, but his touch has been outstanding. His timing in terms of getting to the right spots at the right time and executing it, outstanding start.
Judd slips it away. McLean alongside the centre circles. Penetrating kick deep inside the forward 50. Over the top, Hansen. Henderson. The 2 Lockies combining without intent. Henderson bounces it through for a goal. That's his second.
Bit of Lindsay Thomas about this one too.
Well, it's been interesting, Henderson. I mean, I coached him for a couple of years when he first was drafted by the Brisbane Lions, and always thought he was at the wrong club because Jonathan Brown made it hard for another big forward to be able to really establish himself. But, geez, he's becoming a good player as he's getting now. And there's...
Now, Scotty here, this is after Lindsay Thomas's goal, so I'm not sure.
Well, Lindsay Thomas kicked the goal and he came off the ground straight away. It might be perhaps that he's in red-hot form, so...
You'd think the only thing you'd be upset about is he's come off to interchange when maybe he would have liked him to stay on or something.
So Lee, just on Lockie Henderson,
well, just his improvement. He's just getting better and better, and he's now become a good defender and obviously a very dangerous key forward as well.
So for the second week in a row, he kicks 2 first-quarter goals, Henderson, and Carlton needed it. Still getting the clearances north. Tom talked about how good they are in that area before the match. Zeeble, Tui, back to Scotland. It's all a bit on the back foot, the Blues, but they've got 3 goals themselves. But the 2 threes together, Bastanak and Murphy. Gibbs arched his back. That was good.
Couple of bounces, runs the boundary line. Nice kick. Yaron waited for it. Hine grabbed him by the arm.
Geez, there's good closing speed by Hine, but just was trying to make up too much space and had to chop the arm.
So Yaron 55 metres out. That's not 15. Carrazzo, good umpiring. Carrazzo, Walker, high ball down towards full forward. Where's Henderson? He's in that pack, lurking behind, arriving quickly. Betts misses the first, kicks the second opportunity. Oh, crumbing forwards, running riot at the moment at both ends of the ground, big and small.
Well, entertaining game of footy, and I mean the thing with Lockie Henderson starting as a key forward for Carlton is good for the game because it means that they have a genuine target tall in the smalls, and from a pure spectacle it means that Carlton are actually a little bit vulnerable down back, and the North Melbourne tall forwards are creating great contests. So really entertaining first quarter so far.
Lee, Betts and Carlton will love having Henderson there, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I believe there was 2 Carlton big forwards and the 3 big defenders for the Kangaroos, but the Carlton pair were able to still make the contest, bring the ball to ground, and Betts was able to feed off that.
Bit of a shootout. Goldstein winning the tackle, and Murphy riding.
Good decision, I think.
So Cunnington gone, and Scotland quickly on, and Rose on a big long lead. Hanson did well. He just shoved him out of the way. Possibly could have given a free kick away. Cunnington gets it from McKenzie. Well, pity it wasn't Cunnington to McKenzie because Scotland wouldn't have the ball. But Thompson got back and got into the hole courageously in front of Judd and took the mark. Quite smart for Judd tonight. So Thompson off that step, gets some distance.
Clears the pack out there, runs on. Scotland lays it off, 2 veterans combining. Carrazzo, defensive side of the wing, goes down towards half forward. Over the top, Henderson, tough landing. Ackley the crumb, runs the boundary, kicks towards half forward for his team. Cruiser with great courage went back, falls in front. Walker tackled by Goldstein, Jarn out of there, trying to charge his way through was McKenzie. He was taken down, picking up the football is Scotland. Wells has got him. They move at about 5 metres, falling over. It's slippery on those logos. Thomas went down, and the umpire calls for it. That's not my imagination, is it, Tommy? It is slippery on those logos.
And on both sides at the moment, Denny. I've noticed a number of players lose their footing.
Now we've got a blood rule. Well, I've watched a number of replays too, and I've seen players invariably at just about every venue in the competition sliding over what is painted grass.
It's interesting. I've just really been monitoring this situation with how much match time Goldstein has. Now, he's still in the ruck. He's been in the ruck the whole quarter. Now, Cruz has come off with the blood rule. Rose into the ruck again. There's certainly it's certainly going to be interesting to see how he can play the game out, Goldstein, when he's really been double-teamed by 2 fresh ruckmen at him all the time.
So Carlton up forward, a real mosquito fleet now.
So they've done them proud in the past. Hey, Richo, just saw Cruiser, obviously, but Mickey Moldhouse down there. Is that earlier than normal? I mean, it's 5 minutes to go.
He does like to come down with a couple of minutes, but you're right. I reckon it is a little bit earlier than normal, 3 or 4 minutes.
So crucial stage in this match. Scotland, high tackle. North Melbourne have won 13 of 15 opening quarters. In fact, Josh reliably tells me they've scored about a third of their scores in the opening term. So they've been so productive, but Carlton at the moment keeping up with them. That's a good kick though and a good mark. So Black. So it's 4 goals to 4. Carlton have kicked the last couple. They've been fleetingly in front tonight. Could he go all the way here?
He's very powerful.
And he's going to kick from about 52 metres. Oh, wow. No worries about the distance, but everything else was off.
You can see himself really thinking his way through that. He never really felt or looked comfortable having a shot from out there. But he started the game well, Blake. He moves exceptionally well. Looks a top-class athlete, doesn't he?
So here's this interesting. So Mickey having a little chat to Walker.
Meantime, the bearded one comes away. That's Simpson to Tui. Tui, right half back. Well, forces himself onto his left foot. That was non-thinking football, and it bounces out of bounds.
Signed a new contract during the week. He's been one of the great stories of the past couple of years. Zach Tui heard him on the radio during the week and just loving playing Australian rules football.
Carlton got the bit of extra play around the stoppage, but Hansen is just floating in the back 50 spare for the Kangaroos. I must say I like the Kangaroos set up better than in that regard.
Adams is getting a free kick at the base of that park.
And North Melbourne is still winning the stoppages, so Carlton are getting no real advantage there, and they're not going to get through with Hansen sitting there.
That's about where it happened last year. We won't go back over recent history, but about there.
You haven't stopped thinking about it.
Grimer kicks inside the forward 50. On the lead, pushing up the ground. Black. Goldstein got the crumb, lays it off brilliantly. The look away hand pass. Ziebell finds his way through, did the hard work and misses everything.
Interesting, Gibbs looks like he's got the Ziebell matchup, but when Ziebell spent this last 5 minutes of the game forward, Gibbs went back into defence.
Cruiser might ask for the helmet.
Would Murphy's fit him?
I don't reckon that. I don't reckon that'd fit. I don't reckon that'd fit.
At least it's black. More fashionable.
So Grimer got the crumbs and then belting forward. Well, Cunnington was in the right spot.
Let's be honest, it's the lesser of two evils, Dan, isn't it? The helmet,
yes.
helmet and the mummy wrap.
Pretty rich coming from me to hairstyles.
No comment from me either.
So Cunnington's been very good with the set shots this year. He's 9 from 10. This is a hard kick, but let's see if he can just left to right it slightly. Well, he's straightened it up. He didn't have to left to right it, just hanging out at the end. So he misses. So North have had the shots, haven't they? Probably had 3 really gettables, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, they've had about 4 set shots that were, 40 metres, not that acute an angle.
That's a beautiful kick coming in. Yaron didn't quite watch it into his hands there, and the ball goes out of bounds.
It's twice I've watched Taylor Hine. He's got outstanding closing speed, and Yaron's not going to get an easy kick, particularly on a lead like that, and so he's got to make the most of every opportunity because Hine's going to wear him like a glove.
Bright start to this game. 28 plays 24. Friday night football. Wells got it from Goldstein, but that's a wayward kick. Wasteful, out of bounds on the foot.
Geez, not just the set shots, Dennis. I mean, Ziebell and Wells in the last, 2 minutes?
Yep.
Missing the lot.
So you take those 2 misses into account, Bruce. It's 10 scoring shots from 13 inside 50s.
Jamison has the pressure, gets the kick off. Petrie coming across his bars there. Grimer, that's a strong grab by the Tasmanian, pushing up, clutching it, but left half forward. These tall targets lurking in this direction. This time it's Tarrant, worked out of it by Watson, well played, but behind them is Petrie, and Petrie at least scores, didn't miss by much, pulled it back too abruptly.
Well, I mentioned the other 2, Ziebell, a moment ago, but what about Black was the other one? So they've had Wells, Ziebell and Black have all missed the lot. Petrie are behind there, so Carlton at the moment have dodged a bullet, I reckon, in this opening term so far. Wow, Watson torpedoes the ball to Henderson, gets over the back. Well, Betts is in a good spot here. He's got Armfield running. Eddie looking. Curnow surely couldn't kick 2 goals in the opening term. He can. Wowee. The Blues are in front.
That kick where that long torpedo punt down the centre. The big issue here is the Kangaroos have to punch the ball back. Yeah. Every aerial player, and they let it get over the top, and almost inevitably the little runners are going to be onto it.
Well, there's a term in defensive play. You have an anchor defender, and you've got to be that last person between goal and, to your point, Lee, once it's over the back, you're in all sorts. But geez, they've made the most of their opportunities. Carlton's be in front now.
I'll say, all those misses at the other end, but that shouldn't have been a surprise. Watson did that a couple of times last week, got onto the spiral. North Melbourne Lacks defending. Goldstein out jumped by Cruiser. Swallow under pressure from Judd. Thumped on its way by Hine. Leading back, but getting a terrible bounce. Carlton, that was bad luck for him. Adams gave it across to Hansen. Kicks inside the forward 50. Walker trying to punch away. They're very height conscious. Now Thomas. Black is on. Thomas really had about 2 to choose from. Didn't need them. And just as well.
I tell you, I reckon they've been in front for less than a minute the 3 times they've kicked a goal, the Blues. Every time,
straight back.
North have got back and got that goal. Lindsay Thomas is just
He's been good, hasn't he? I mean, he missed his set shot. Now, the one set shot didn't miss, but his other 3, just his ground level awareness, knowing where the opposition is, knowing where the goals are. I think Black might have been a better option in the goal square, but he took the punt and had the shot, got it home.
Well, he's been remarkable, Thomas. 3 opening quarter goals, missed the set shot. They've been in front 3 times, Carlton, for a total of 3 minutes and 48 seconds, but you can take 90 seconds off of the bouncing of the ball. So
Thanks, Todd.
North just refused to let them lead at quarter time. By the way,
For the Kangaroos, the final siren, that's the only concern about when they're going to be in front.
no worries about leading a quarter time for the Kangaroos. They do that every week. Hawthorn, the only other team to get 5 first-quarter goals against the Kangaroos this year, but Thompson getting back. And Curnow, multiple goals for the first time in his career tonight, getting them in the opening term. So it's been a remarkable first quarter. It really has. I mean, North could have been 9 goals by now. I mean, they've missed some easy shots.
It was last time on Friday Night Football as we realised they were in front on the final siren and the Eagles beat them after the siren.
They were, Lee.
So even him being in front on the final siren's not going to win you the game.
McMillan and Tui, good mark. Lee's getting complicated.
That's when the little guy at the back of the grandstand gets confused. There's Tui from left half back, drives it down towards half forward. Rowe, big lead from behind, stayed on his feet too, well played. Kept coming, Lucas under pressure. Carrazzo slips a hand pass across to Rowe. He did the heavy lifting early, kicks it down towards the pocket. Knocked away down there by Hine. Getting back in number North, Cunnington. He took on the tackler. That's holding the footy, I reckon.
I think it is.
Oh, you can't do that, son.
Well, the precedent was set early in the game. As soon as you take that one step to take on, and I think it was might have been Murphy the first time in the centre clearance. Might think it's a bit hard, but there's the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's only a half step, but he did have the pride.
It's a good tackle from Mark Murphy.
You are a soothsayer, Lee. It's not the final siren, but you saw this
That's
coming.
it. We know it's coming. See,
You
the
are
siren's
remarkable.
gone. They're in front.
Remarkable. That's where we're lucky, Bruce. Genius up here never takes a holiday, does it?
Richard and I were talking before the game and just commenting off here how Lee is never wrong. He's just
Well, no, you're included in that. I saw you nodding when Lee was talking about that siren. Murphy puts the goal through. Carlton lead at quarter time by a point. 36 plays 35. How was that for a quarter on Friday Night Football?